Let's jump right in. If you're sitting in the C-suite right now, or you're leading a major team, I've got a direct challenge for you. It is time to stop treating AI as just a faster calculator. Look, I know how much we all love our calculators, but we're not just upgrading our software here. We are entering a fundamental paradigm shift in organizational leadership. The old rules are literally breaking down right in front of us, and simply trying to do yesterday's work a little bit faster, that's a massive strategic trap. So, in this explainer, we're going to dive into some extraordinary science emerging from Google DeepMind and top academic institutions, and we're going to build a playbook for how to actually organize this intelligence.
Here's our agenda. 1. Beyond doing things faster. 2. Governing autonomous agents. 3. Interpretability as shared vocabulary. 4. Avoiding cognitive surrender. And 5. Simulating the organizational future.
We're currently in what philosopher Thomas Kuhn called a period of extraordinary science. This is a moment when the old incremental rules hit a brick wall and just stop working. Demis Hassabis over at Google DeepMind actually compares this to the Industrial Revolution, but get this, he says it's probably 10 times the impact and 10 times faster. Now, since modern organizational research and management essentially grew out of that Industrial Revolution, a fundamental rethink of your organization isn't just a nice-to-have anymore, it's completely mandatory.
Section 1. Beyond doing things faster.
You know, an 18-month Stanford study recently revealed a really fascinating contrast in how companies adopt this stuff. A lot of folks get stuck in what we call simple substitution, basically just swapping out an old task for an AI output. But the problem is, the learning tax of these new tools often completely outweighs the payoff if that's all you're doing. The really successful deep AI adopters, they treat the technology more like a Swiss Army knife. They use a product management mindset. They aren't just hunting for quick point solutions. They're actively identifying blockers and completely redesigning their entire workflows from the ground up.
Because if you get that adoption wrong and you just let undirected AI use run rampant, you don't actually get more free time. You get work intensification. It's wild. Employees experience task expansion. They end up taking on responsibilities that used to be handled by totally different people just because the AI makes it feel, accessible. Boundaries start to blur because these conversational interfaces make work feel a little less like work, right? It eliminates those natural breaks. And then you get increased multitasking, which just leads to constant juggling and context switching. Without a deliberate strategy, AI is just going to accelerate burnout.
Section 2. Governing highly autonomous agents.
Really ask yourself this. Are AI agents going to emerge bottom-up in your organization through scattered, decentralized employee efforts? Or are you going to step in and mandate secure, top-down agent interoperability at the enterprise level? This isn't some hypothetical IT problem for next year, okay? This is a massive strategic governance decision that you have to make right now.
The whole thing really comes down to low-functioning versus high-functioning AI. A low-functioning chatbot needs you in the loop constantly, right? For the input, the throughput, the output. But high-functioning agents, they can navigate complex, multi-step projects totally independently. Just imagine an agent that can research the entire global supplier market, solicit bids via secure digital handshakes, negotiate the terms, and optimize for both carbon footprint and cost, all without your constant input. That is what an autonomous agent economy looks like.
But, and this is a big but, deploying them comes with some severe trade-offs. If you embed these agents deep within the natural human flow of work, you run the risk of sub-goal optimization. That's where the agent prioritizes local departmental goals over the big-picture global goals of your firm. On the flip side, what if you keep them entirely separate, running on their own strict protocols? Well, then you keep humans entirely out of the loop. And if those systems fail, your human operators are going to lack the basic knowledge to troubleshoot them. You're risking enterprise-wide deskilling.
Section 3. Interpretability as shared vocabulary.
Think about this. In 2024, 4 world-class chess grandmasters sat down not to compete with each other, but to actually learn from AlphaZero. That's the AI that mastered chess entirely through self-play. And AlphaZero taught them these brilliant, incredibly unconventional strategies that totally defied human wisdom, like sacrificing powerful pieces just for subtle long-term advantages. And the wild part? The players actually improved by learning these unnatural concepts. The lesson for us here is absolutely crucial. Leaders have to establish a shared vocabulary to actually learn from AI, not just use it to spit out outputs.
So, to bridge that gap, you need to demand 3 distinct levels of interpretability from your systems. Level 1, simply understand what the AI is actually doing. Level 2, evaluate if that AI recommendation actually fits your specific context. That is a judgment call that only a human can make. And level 3, the highest level, learn from the AI, just like those chess grandmasters did. Interpretability really has to become a bridge for human judgment, rather than just this mysterious black box.
Section 4. Avoiding cognitive surrender.
Now, you might think AI replaces human thinking, but the data says the exact opposite. Research from NCAD and the London Business School analyzed 8.4 million job postings, and guess what? They found a massive 44% increase in demand for higher-order cognitive skills, things like critical thinking, in roles that are adopting AI. The market isn't asking for fewer human skills, guys. It's demanding deeper, much more complex human judgment to manage these crazy new capabilities.
But there is a very real, massive threat to all of this: cognitive surrender. This happens when your employees adopt AI output with minimal scrutiny, completely overriding their own intuition and deliberative reasoning. It is basically a near-total transfer of human agency right over to an algorithm, and it's usually driven by extreme time pressure or just a lack of oversight. Listen, if your team stops thinking critically and just hits accept on every single AI prompt, your organizational intelligence is actively eroding.
So how do we prevent this erosion? Well, here is your playbook. First, you've got to frame AI as a tutor, not just a tool. Use it to build better mental models. Second, foster fluid intelligence. Hire and train for people who actually enjoy effortful thinking and can reason their way through totally novel situations. And third, provide really detailed performance feedback. Because when employees operate under good feedback loops, rather than just blindly rushing through tasks, that human deliberation is reactivated.
Section 5. Simulating the organizational future.
We are entering what I like to call the era of the digital mirror. We can now use generative AI to create high-definition simulacra of individuals and entire teams. Researchers are actively figuring out how to capture the incredible richness of human behavior to build these generative simulations that act as exact, high-fidelity mirrors of your organization's workforce. It's a real game changer.
Just think about the strategic advantage this offers you. You can literally replicate team dynamics to anticipate real-world risks before they ever even happen. Imagine you're planning a massive corporate merger, or maybe a super high-stakes R&D sprint. Instead of waiting around to see where the friction points are going to pop up, you can use structured AI simulations to predict emergent collective actions. These virtual rehearsals let you completely bypass the massive financial and cultural costs of broken team chemistry.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Are you ready to stop treating AI as just a faster tool and start actually leading through a paradigm shift? The science is moving unbelievably fast right now, and the tools are becoming highly autonomous whether we like it or not. Your job in the C-suite is no longer to just deploy technology. Your job is to organize intelligence. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it helps you lead your teams into this extraordinary new era.